us, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day that we're all able to assemble here and do your work. Give us guidance. Help us to make wise decisions. Also, help us all to be civil to one another. And remember that we're here to do the people's business. We ask you to bless all of our elders, those who are lonely, sick, in the nursing home, all those who need help. Remember the world and all of its problems and all the past trials that we've seen this past week, and help us overcome it all, and may we all come out and be stronger for everything that we've endured. We ask this in all your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call.
Joe Bird.
Aye.
Tom Garvin.
Aye.
Bill England.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Leanne Coates. Here. Jody Fishenthal. Meredith Fraley. Here. Janelle Fulbright.
Present.
Frankie Vargas.
Present.
Chuck Crosby Jr. Hannah Glory Jordan. Lee Keener.
Aye.
Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell. David Thornton.
Aye.
David Walkenstick. Caroline Watts. Honey. We got a quorum.
Okay. We'll drop down to approval of minutes. This time I'd entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Minutes approved. Reports, Talk Me Job Corps Career Services, Ms. Diane Kelly, and she is here.
I was here the last time, I just was running late. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, it's an honor to be before you today. It's a nice day. We've got lots of things going on. I just wanted to report this, and the reason I'm reporting it is because I was reminded by Sandra this morning about our focus group that we had. Several weeks ago, Career Services hosted a focus group with the health department and with the education department, and the purpose of that focus group was for us to get some ideas, suggestions from the health department on some of the positions that they're going to be needing for the upcoming expansions, as well as the hospital in 3 to 5 years. And given that, we have to start getting people trained and ready to be put in the pipeline right now. And it was also an opportunity for us to interact with the education department on some of the things that they were doing as far as higher education. It was a good meeting, and I just wanted to share that with you because we are on top of that, so that as we're going forward with a lot of this expansion work, the programs are trying to be prepared so that we have a lot of Cherokees in the pipeline that are trained that can go to work in those positions. So I wanted to share that with you. And I'm sure that Sandra or Connie will share that as well in their report. And that was for the benefit of our associate program, Jan Grogan, Daryl Legg, and Mandy. And Sandra just reminded me of that this morning. Share with you a little bit about Job Corps. We did get a letter from the Assistant Secretary of Labor that they are proposing that the freeze be lifted. It has not officially been lifted, but we did get a letter from her that basically said they're going to lift the freeze shortly and probably not go all the way up until June the 30th. As of right now, we have 170 students on the center at Job Corps, and that is down from 283 that we started out with January the 20th. And now when I say 170, that means that some of them have actually graduated. There's some that have been sent home as a result of some problems, but we have 170 on campus as of right now. And our new contract, we received word that our new contract was being decreased. All of the contracts all over the United States are being decreased from their amount, and ours is going down from 250 down to 197. So that's what our contract number will be for the new fiscal year starting July 1. And FTEs as of today are 89, which we had previously 107. Mr. Chairman?
Are you through with your report?
No.
Let her finish the report.
And tonight, Talking Leaves will serve refreshments at your council meeting. They'll have refreshments set up outside the council house, the council chambers, in support of the One Fire Charles F. Head Domestic Violence Task Force that will be presented tonight at the council meeting. And we have open house scheduled on the 30th, which is next Tuesday. It will be at the new offices downtown, and there will be information going out tonight about that. But I just want to share that with you because Talking Leaves will be involved in that. We're sponsoring the refreshments. We also have an open house planned this Thursday in conjunction with your rules and ENF meeting. It will be, you've got your Surge Tech people out here, and then our business class, which is located up across from the tower at Sequoia. They're over in the Southgate building. They will have open house in conjunction with that meeting, so that y'all can come out and visit, see what the classes are actually about. Wednesday of this week, Talking Leaves Job Corps will be sponsoring an administrative professional staff luncheon. It will be for our 2 business classes at Job Corps and our adult vocational business class, and all of our professional staff that's in our department. And we've invited EDs. I think maybe some of you ladies have gotten invitations. Our keynote speaker will be the First Lady, Sherry Baker. We've done this for about 4 or 5 years. I think Meredith came and spoke one year. I think Kara's come and spoke. We've had different speakers different years. Chief Baker's mother came and spoke one year for us. So we've tried to celebrate that in conjunction with Professional Staff Day, and we also know that it's also Denim Day that day, so hopefully everybody will dress up, maybe in their denim wear. The last thing I want to report on is Voc Rehab. Teresa Chuplate, who worked for our Chief of Staff, Mr. Hoskin, she has transferred down to the Voc Rehab office, and she'll be working with our Voc Rehab counselors, Mr. Ballard and Ms. Ross and Brenda Fitzgerald. We want to welcome Teresa. And then we had to say a fond farewell to Melanie Dodge and to Dennis Carter. They both retired in the last couple of weeks. So if you remember Melanie, and I know Meredith does, and Dennis Carter from Cherokee County, they've both taken retirement. So that's all I had to report on, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Watts?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have questions, but I needed you to report, I think, what the amount was that we're going to decrease. You said it, I just couldn't hear it.
Okay.
It was quickly, and you didn't repeat it, so I was trying to get a repeat at the time.
The contract was decreased from 250 students down to 197.
So is number of students not budget amount?
Yes, the budget amount corresponds with the number of students.
Okay.
So our contract will decrease as well.
Okay, and see, that's why I even heard it as dollars, not students. That's what I was trying
No,
to figure out.
I don't have the dollars.
Okay.
It's just that they gave us the numbers as of last week. We've been having conference calls with DOL every week.
And that's going to be the effects of sequestration?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Go ahead.
is it to the same subject? I mean, we can, and then, but I do have some more questions.
Yeah, I'm
Different
just going to
subjects.
ask her, is this across the board of all job
Yes,
corps?
all of the Job Corps centers have taken a reduction. What happened was Department of Labor overspent their budget last year, and we are all having to suffer the effects. And then when the suppression came into play, that had more of an impact. And they've moved the Job Corps program out from under the Assistant Secretary and have moved it back over under ETA. And with that, you had to gear back up with the staffing. So there was positions that had been decreased, had to be increased when they moved it back over to ETA.
May I continue then? Thank you. First of all, thank you. I know that you, regardless of how it was done logistically, it took a lot to have all the staff there at Paul Bickford Services, and I know that meant a lot to have you and Anna and your teams that worked with him, so thank you. On the reentry program, it is noted in the report, and I'm excited about it. Do you know where we're going to head with that? Do we have any plans? I mean, are we going to look for in the upcoming budget? Will there be some exciting initiatives around it?
What we're doing is we're just carving out numbers out of our existing budgets, and we're
Okay.
just going to have those earmarked for reentry, just like we're carving out some for the One Fire Domestic Violence Task Force, so that whenever Joni and Tanya and them contact Marcia's department or contact our department with somebody who falls into that area, then we will have some slots set aside for that so that we can take care of it.
So, because I think this is an ongoing question in the community. I mean, not everybody's concerned about it, but I do think, number one, I'm concerned, but there's other people that are concerned too. So how are we going to understand what kind of resources we're providing and how much we're short potentially? How will that be broke out to help us understand that?
Okay, we're not creating another program. We're developing a re-entry with existing staff and existing resources that we already have. What we're doing is we're just taking pieces, like for instance, if Jeff Vance has got so many slots, Daryl's got so many slots, we're just carving out like 5 to 10 and putting it over here and reserving those slots so that when we have people that fall into those categories, then we're tapping that. And as we need to tap it, we see that there's going to be more of a demand, then we're going to come back and probably ask for that. But we don't know how many's going to fall into that category. We don't know how many's going to fall in with the domestic violence. So it'll be kind of trial and error for at least this next 6 months to see.
Will it be reported out separately then, or somehow designated so we can understand?
I
would
be
find
glad
that very
to.
valuable when I read the monthly reports. And then like if there's unmet need, I think if we're measuring it as we go, I think that's even more valuable. It'll help us, especially if we have to make hard choices because of sequestration and other things, that we kind of know what that's going to look like
Okay.
as we lead into
Be glad
budget
to do
time.
that. Be glad to do that.
Now, one thing that I'm real excited about on the One Fire thing is the cross-functional working and the departments coming together. So I think that's a similar issue with reentry, especially because housing, they can't access housing and those things. So I assume there's nothing preventing them from getting on the Pelivan transport or
No.
those kind of things. So that solves that issue, potentially the on-demand rides. But how are we working with housing to identify to see if we can help them at least get transitional housing or?
What we can do is we can probably, I can get with Gary and the housing group, and we can get with the other departments, and we can put something together so that it'll show you how each of these resources can kind of like a circle, so that you know what we can tap into and what we can't. And then we're also looking at outside resources as well.
Because thank you, and that's great. That's exactly. And there was a trifold brochure, I think, that you or Daryl Legg and his crew that's working on that had put together.
Yes.
Can you send that electronically too? And I don't remember that it was as detailed, maybe from our perspective, to understand from a budget policy
Yes.
perspective. So there's that we could use for citizens, and then.
We can do that.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Hargis.
Yeah, my questions are about the reentry program. Kara asked most of them, but my question now is, when will that be available, or are the slots available for the people now, and how do they get to them?
We're actually targeting when we start day work back up, which will be after this council meeting and after the budget is signed off on, and we're notified by the treasurer that we can actually start, moving forward with the program. That's when we plan to target.
When
That'll probably be 2 to 3 weeks from now.
and the people that are in need of the reentry program
Right.
can then apply?
Yeah.
Will it be through the CRT, through like Fay, or in still say Fay or Brian? Which
Now,
one
they're
would
going to
it
be
be?
referred to telephone.
They will be.
They'll have to
referred
be
to.
referred to telephone. We don't have the staff in all of our outlining offices that have the specialization to work with those kinds of clients. And Daryl and one other counselor in this office are the 2 that will actually be working with the reentry.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Fulbright.
Thank you. Diane, I wanted to mention the services at Salisal that have been really good. And I think one of the main persons is someone named Michelle down there. I can't help but that I'm kin to everybody in Sequoia County. And my cousin's husband came as the new plant manager at Salisal. And they're putting on an extra line, and he has utilized our offices there to hire Cherokees. And I think some of them were recent graduates with GED class, and some were former day work training program. He's already hired several of our people through the office there, and I just want to commend them down there for doing a really good job, and everybody that's helped put each other in contact, because we are still very high unemployment county, one of the highest in the state. We're in desperate need of jobs. And I just think that's a wonderful program that we're reaching out and working with them. It takes some effort on the part of that office to do that. And I think they
Shane
have,
Philpott is the one person working down there on
I
that.
think they were going to help some of them maybe to get some steel-toed boots and requirements. This is a wonderful opportunity for those new people that they're hiring, because they're just desperate to have a job. Job well done.
This is one of the OJT contracts that we're networking through the business enterprises. Shane Kirby went down, met with Michelle, they met with the business enterprises, and that's one of ours, it's one of our initiatives through CNB. I just wanted to share that with you.
Well, we appreciate it. Every job that we can get down there is really felt.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Good report tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have Miss Lisa Trice Turtle, former Miss Cherokee, Miss Indian Oklahoma, Miss Indian USA. Are you going to give a speech, or are you just going to?
She's going to do the wave for us.
Okay.
Oh, the way?
Oh, okay.
Many
Oh.
moons ago.
All right. She will be reporting over the education part.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Dr. Gloria Sly had a family medical emergency, so she asked me to fill in for her. And in addition to the report that you have before you, we'd just like to make note that the Trail of Tears Awards for Excellence, the students have been awarded gift cards, and they should be in their hands to their home addresses by May 1st. There were 188 students, and the award total was $3,465. Remember, the removal bike ride is on track. They will depart May 30th and return to Tahlequah on June 21st. And the students have been training rigorously for that ride. Camp Cherokee is the other thing, and I have a flyer with all of the day camp dates, deadlines for those dates, as well as the residential. And there's a phone line on that flyer, 772-4204, that is dedicated to Camp Cherokee, and we have a pool of folks in education that are answering that line. So we're starting to get some heavy calls on that. So other than that, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them or take them back.
Ms. Carrie Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we have a report on any potential impact on sequestration, especially like around Johnson O'Malley monies or anything? I didn't notice any when I read the report. I could have overlooked them, of course, but could you have Bill send that to us or Dr. Sly? And thank you on the Camp Cherokee being on the website. I've been posting it. People are excited. Will that be directly emailed to the contacts at the school and former participants as well, or just?
Now, former participants, I believe they did a mailing.
Very good.
But as far as being posted to all of the schools, yes.
So they'll get the residential camp and the day camp.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And then, do we know, like, in terms of the 2014 budget, because I think one of those planning for the next fiscal year, will all of the Cherokee Nation Science and Engineering Fair and ACES and all that other stuff, will that be included?
It should be. I know there's been some discussions. I haven't been included in all of the details,
Okay.
but I know there's talk.
So I'm specifically asking about those and mix and first robotics and stuff, and make sure, that at least those budgets are maintained, if not grown, because I know there's a lot of schools that want to enter that they said the budget wouldn't allow, so they were hoping for growth.
We'll have to follow up on that.
Okay, thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Counselor Vargas.
Lisa, I had a young lady say that she'd gotten on the website to do the application for financial aid. Is it not up?
FAFSA?
No, she's done her FAFSA, but she was wanting to do the Cherokee Nation application.
Our higher education scholarship, not yet.
Not yet.
The staff has been trained, and they went through and kind of did a little pilot run themselves, and there are a couple of revisions, so hopefully that should be online next week.
Next week. Okay, thank you.
And then the deadline would be June 7th.
Counselor Coates.
Yeah, on the residential camp, is this open for at-large Cherokee citizens as well, or?
Yes, to my knowledge.
It is, okay, thank you.
Speaker.
I thought we had one of the day camps down for Cherokee County, did we not? Did I, oh, wait, I saw it, never mind. Heart of the Hills. Thank you.
Like I said, how did they leave Cherokee County now? They did everything.
It's actually combined with the residential one, so there's usually about 400 students there.
That's the 7th through the 12th, right?
July.
No, the residential camps are for the 7th grade through the
Yes,
12th.
yes, ma'am, yes.
Heart of the Hills will be for 1st through 7th grade, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you please give me a number on the Gates scholarships that are awarded? I'd like to have Keys, Tahlequah, Sequoia.
Lisa, can you give me another one of these? I wrote on it. I want to send it out in schools.
Were there any extra flyers that came?
Yes, there should be some.
I have this one that I have.
Thank you.
Lisa, are you notified of all the GATE scholarships, or is it just your, like Sequoia High School?
We'll have to find out.
Any more questions? Yes, Mr. Donovan, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do you have a list of all the valedictorian and salutatorian winners yet?
Not yet.
When will that be available?
That's in the college resource area. I'll have to follow up with Mandy Scott, the manager for college resources.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Head Start, Vernon Thompson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm here to answer any questions you might have in addition to, related to the written reports submitted.
Ms. Kara Cowan Watts, you're up first, basically.
Thank you, Chairman Burke.
Or should I say, do you have any
How do you expect sequestration to impact your budget? Have they told you exactly or anything?
Actually, we were proactive. We anticipated it for months. And one of the ways that we are going to address it, absorb the cost, is to close early and start late. We're closing all sites on May 1st and beginning, staff return August 5th when they usually return a week before that, and the children will start a week after August 5th. But we've also cut here and there the coursework piece of it because it came at a good time as far as not feeling the impact of it. A lot of our staff will graduate, so we get to deduct all of their expenses.
Okay. So, because I've been trying to start understanding what sequestration means for immediate as well as our upcoming budget. And I know that during the budget process last year, there was money set aside for raises on the employees. So I assume we've been able to do that, but that was a one-time thing, and now we have sequestration. How does that balance out? Will you be able to sustain that?
No.
So that was just a one-time hit budget-wise to provide those raises, and it's not an ongoing thing, and then we'll have this budget decrease further? Because that was money that wasn't from your normal resources.
Right.
It's $250,000, I think, so do we have an idea of what that...
400,000.
$400,000. So what does that look like going into the new year as we plan?
I believe that's a question to be answered among your functions. We are hoping it will be renewed because our staff have enjoyed an increase to equal what they're worth as far as the state scale. And I'm hoping that it will be entertained by you all in the budget hearings.
But if you're effectively, their take home may not be greater. It's just they're going to make more per hour because we're cutting the hours. Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you so much. Thanks for all your work.
Speaker?
Okay.
I plan to do my best, Myrna, to see that those are sustained in our budget. I can think of no better thing to put any gym fund money we have towards the education of our young people and towards our educators.
Thank you.
So I would just put this body on notice. I'll be advocating for that because it went to a good place. It went to a place that we normally do not help this this department at all. And we will have some gym fund dollars, and I will be asking that, or advocating that those remain in the budget.
Thank you.
As a former parent of Head Start, I'll support the cause as well.
We count on you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, move down to old business. None pending. We have new business. Discussion and possible action, the Direct Studies Program, Councilor Dickman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The reason I put this on is I've had conversations with a couple of medical students at OSU School of Medicine. And apparently we're always anywhere from 45 to 60 days late paying their tuition and some other fees. And I talked to the bursar, and what happens is, after 30 days, they start sending emails to these students, these doctor students, telling them that if they don't pay, they're going to not be in school anymore. And of course, we always pay, but it's always late. And these students, even though they're smart people, they have enough on their mind, I think, not to worry about whether their tuition is going to get paid or not. And so I was hoping that somebody from Directed Studies could come over and tell us, maybe get a plan together to start paying these tuitions and other fees a little earlier so that these students don't have to worry about it. And that's what this is about.
Yeah. Very good point, well taken. Lisa, I know you probably weren't prepared for that question, but if you would try to address it, and if you don't have the answer today, we'd sure like for you to get back with the appropriate people and maybe over email in the next few days after you've done your research. Give us an answer on that. Because is it a 45-day turnaround? Is that? We're going beyond that.
They're talking 60 days.
Yeah,
the bursar told me it's usually 60 days.
Okay.
And I don't know where if that's within our education department or our treasurer's department
Sure.
writing the checks. I don't know.
That's what we'd like for you to check out.
You said the school is OSU?
OSU. And I have that bursar's number if you want me to text it to you.
Councilor Fishenhall?
Yeah, while you're at it, could you also check with education, because we had this discussion about a year or two ago, because they had in the past been so late making payments that it's costing us $10,000, the kids in back pay, you know, for being late, penalties and interest. Could you check on that for all of education? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Wall?
I apologize, I got asked to step out of the room for the staff. It looks like there's only 14 students right now on the Directed Studies program. It sounds like I didn't know what today's agenda item was about, but is there just no possibility of increasing that number with our need for nurses and those things that just takes, that's what's still focused on, right? And doctors?
I brought an application with me.
Because all the students I've sent have said that there's a waiting list, I think. That's the feedback I've got.
The deadline for this year is May 31st. And the degrees that are on the approved list are dental, a DDS, a DMD, and then medicine, MD and DO. And the emphasis would be a physician, family practice, pediatric, and internal medicine.
Okay, and that is online, correct, at the education website?
Should be. I didn't check before I came, so
Would
I
you?
will check.
Because I'll have to post that. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor
Thanks.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Councilman Ray.
I've got a question too. I had a gentleman call me about a couple of months ago, and he told me he was going to school in a Directed Studies. I forgot what law school it was in the Oklahoma City area. Are we doing attorneys now in Directed Studies?
Now,
Or
there
have
may-
we in the past, or?
I don't know if attorneys was on the list. I know there wasn't when I had Directed Studies. And then when we transferred everything to the College Resource Center, when we, what
So
was that,
you
October?
read off everything that is currently
Yes.
under Directed
Yes.
Studies?
Yes.
It was mainly medical.
Medical, yes. And I know they're working more closely with the health department, with Kathy Kilpatrick, with the health recruiting efforts. And as far as an attorney at Oklahoma City area, I have no knowledge of current students and what their degrees are.
I just know what he told me. It may not have been true. Who knows?
We'll follow up.
Thank you.
Speaker?
The Directed Studies program, does education pay for that, or does the department that the position is connected with pay for it?
To my knowledge, the education department pays for the education degree. And then when they go do their payback to work, then that's where the department, before they're even accepted on the program, the department sponsors them, knowing that they're coming down the pipeline in
So
several many years.
if someone's going to get on the Directed Studies program, or has made an application for it, their application is sent to that department, they review it to see if they can sponsor them before they're put on Directed Studies. So if they're not, how can I put this? If it doesn't look like they're going to have an opening for them when they graduate, they're probably not going to sponsor them, are they?
But what happens
That's
is,
defining our directed studies program is whether they will take them on as a employee in the future. That's defining the directed studies program, isn't it?
they're first looked at as an application overall. Do they meet all the eligibility? Because there are some that apply that don't meet all the eligibility. So those are gone through with the review committee first. Then those ones that are selected are then sent to those departments for sponsorship.
So, but directed studies only works if the department says, I've got a position, or I believe I'll have a position 2 years from now.
Right.
And this position, this person will work for that position.
Similar to IHS payback.
Yes.
Well, if I could address that, not quite there.
No, that's why I said similar.
Because IHS doesn't say you gotta have a job offer before you get on the program. They say we'll go ahead and fund you, and then you find a job in a low-income area, and that qualifies as your payback. And I'm wondering if we shouldn't broaden our directed studies program a little bit. Not that we will employ, but maybe they, like IHS, must find a job in a certain area, a certain part of our 14 counties possibly, in a rural setting. And that's a method by which we will give them credit for what we have paid to get them to that point, like IHS.
Maybe we just look at that criteria. Okay.
Well,
Diane, you have a comment you want to make?
Yeah, that was the purpose of this focus group meeting that we had, was, we have an associate degree program that Jan Brogan has, and it's all specialized help. And that was the purpose, because when we've had some of our graduates come out, some of the positions were not there available for them. That was why we were having this meeting with the health department, and to determine if there was certain professions that we needed to be gearing toward and expand those positions. And so that's why before she actually puts anybody in there, we wanted to make sure that we could put them in a clinic, because the way it was set up, everybody had to go to either Claremore or to Hastings. And now we've opened it up to where if you live in Muskogee and there's a position that comes open at the Three Rivers, then you would be considered for that at Three Rivers, and you wouldn't have to drive all the way to Claremore or come all the way over to Telmore. So that was why we were having that focus meeting. And Mandy was there to talk about the directed studies, because she has the same problem, where we want to make sure those people are in the pipeline. And if there's not a position open, then they're free to go anyplace else.
Okay. Yep.
what is our directed studies program costing us now? Just for the 14 students, do you have, just send it to us, on email.
Okay. Sure.
I didn't mean to catch you off guard. I'm just curious as to its cost and whether there's potential for expansion there.
How old is the program, if I may ask?
Since 2008.
Okay.
Fall of 2008 was our first student.
Okay. Well, Lisa, you did good. I'm glad I bragged on you in the beginning.
Thank you.
Okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
commission, I'll just table that until next month.
Okay, that will be tabled, and Lisa, you will give us the information, correct?
Yes.
All that, okay. Have a motion and second to table. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, announcements? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
Motion?
So
Second.
moved, second.
Aye.
Good. We're adjourned.
Ahead of schedule.
There you go.
We started late. You did good.
Well, our leadoff did good over there.